Good afternoon. I'm Jocelyn Boyd, and I am employed by the Public Service Commission. Thank you for joining me and my colleagues, whom I will introduce in a second, regarding the procedural schedule in docket number 2023-154E, and that is South Carolina Public Service Authority, or Santee Cooper's 2023 Integrated Resource Plan. We will call the roll at this point. No, I'm going to tell you about my colleagues who are present in the hearing room. Our General Counsel, Joanne Wessinger Hill, is in the hearing room. Our staff attorney, Alicia Clausen, is in the hearing room. Our live stream producer, Melissa Purvis, is present. Our WebEx whiz today is Jackie Knight. And our scheduling administrator, Elise Wilson, will return in just a minute. So now we will call the roll. Who is present and represents the South Carolina Public Service Authority, or Santee Cooper? Mr. Pelcher, was that you, or is that Miss? Let's see. Yeah, Mr. Pelcher.
Yeah, this is Steve Pelcher here. I'm here for Santee Cooper. Megan Driggers is also here. Alex Brazil is here, and I think Ashley may or may not be here. Ashley Cooper.
Okay, let me see. I see Mr. Brazil. I don't see Mr. Cooper. I do see Ms. Driggers' name, but I don't see Mr. Cooper yet. We'll keep an eye out for him. Okay, we're going to move on next to the interveners. Who is present and represents the Carolinas Clean Energy Business Association?
Jocelyn, John Burns and I represent SECEBA, and John is the general counsel for SECEBA. He's admitted pro hoc vici in this docket.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you, Richard.
I'm smiling, Richard, because you didn't identify yourself, and that just indicates how long I've known you, because I recognize your voice. I just want to make a joke. That's all. Okay. Central Electric Power Cooperative Incorporated.
Good afternoon, Jocelyn. Frank Ellerby appearing for Central this afternoon.
Good afternoon, Frank. Mr. Ellerby, nice to hear you and have you participating this afternoon. All right, next, Century Aluminum of South Carolina Incorporated.
Hi, Jocelyn Taylor Spear for Century Aluminum, and I am joined by another counsel who I'll allow to introduce himself.
Okay.
Hi, yes, James Cox appearing on behalf of Century Aluminum as well.
Okay. Mr. Cox, did I pronounce your last name correctly? I'm looking for you on the screen. Oh, I did?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, wonderful. Good to have you.
Thank you.
All right, next we have Google LLC. Google LLC, not present just yet. All right. Nucor Steel Berkeley.
Hi, Jocelyn. This is Mike Levanga on behalf of Nucor Berkeley.
All right, Ms. Levanga.
And Jocelyn, it's Mary Shade on behalf of Google. I couldn't get.
Oh, okay, Ms. Shea. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us, and Ms. Shea and Mr. Levanga. All right, next we're going to move on to Santee Cooper Industrial Customer Group. All right, the Sierra Club.
Yes, good afternoon. This is Dory Jaffe on behalf of Sierra Club.
Hi, Ms. Jaffe. Thank you for being present. All right, next we have the South Carolina Coastal Conservation League and the Southern Alliance for Clean Energy.
Good afternoon. This is Kate Mixon on behalf of SACE and CCL, and Emma Clancy is on the line as well.
Nice to have you, Ms. Mixon and Ms. Clancy. Moving on to the South Carolina Department of Consumer Affairs. All right, and also the South Carolina Office of Regulatory Staff.
Hey, good afternoon. This is Ben Muschin, and Nicole Given is also on
All right, Mr. Muschin and Ms. Givens, thank you for being present today. All right, so now I need to move over to one more screen, which contains our participants. The PA Consulting Group.
Good afternoon, this is Sarah Liubana. I am representing PA Consulting today.
Say your last name again for me, please.
Liuba.
Liuba. Thank you, Ms. Liuba. Okay, we're going to get right to the issues that we need to address. First of all, did I miss anyone? Did I miss calling anyone?
Ms. Boyd, this is Ashley Cooper.
Okay.
Apologize. We had some audio difficulties earlier, and I thought I was addressing you and speaking for Mr. Pelcher, and I really appreciate Mr. Pelcher coming off of mute and saving the day. But want to let you know I'm on and participating.
All right, wonderful, Mr. Cooper. Now, let me just ask, Ms. Cooper, are you going to be speaking on behalf of Santee Cooper today?
Yes, I will.
Okay. And then Mr. Burns, are you going to speak on behalf of SCSEBA?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. And then Mr. Spear, will it be you or Mr. Cox?
I'm happy to speak for Century. I will have to leave at 5:30, and Mr. Cox will take over after there.
All right. And let's see the last one. Ms. Mixon, do you want to, will you speak on behalf of South Carolina Coastal Conservation League and Southern Alliance for Clean Energy?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. All right. And I'll just call on Mr. Mustian. Okay, everyone. And I don't think I missed anyone calling anyone's name. All right. So, Ms. Purvis, will you please display the document that's on the document camera? Thank you so much. So everyone, I'm sure you've seen this document. It's posted in the docket. It was signed by General Counsel Mustian regarding the proposed procedural schedule. And our General Counsel will let me know if I'm wrong, but I think where we want to focus our discussion this afternoon is basically the line that reads, the row that reads hearing resumes, the date that, the proposed new date of February 12th, the proposed order due date, and then the commission's final order. Am I correct, Ms.? Okay, yeah. Because that's where we are concerned. We just want to make sure the commissioners have sufficient time to perform their work. And is it possible if we have some time before the 12th, are the parties willing, or can your schedules be accommodated to hold the second hearing, or not the second hearing, the hearing that resumes with the consultant's testimony and responses to that testimony earlier than February 12th? Mr. Mustian, may I call on you since you filed the letter? Can you kind of give me, or give us rather, a summary of why these dates are important, or if there is some wiggle room?
Yeah, happy to.
Okay.
And I don't think, I would assume that there's some wiggle room in here. I don't think that some of it was really driven by the hearing date and the testimony date. So, the way we read the commission's order was to basically back all the dates up 2 weeks. The problem that presented to us was, in order to do that, and if you backed the report up and you kind of kept the same timelines after, it would back up our direct testimony date, which limited our review of the IRP, and we're obviously in the middle of doing that. And so what we tried to do was to propose some changes that kept the hearing date as it was, maintained the testimony date, but tried to put in some dates that would allow the report to be filed, allow the discovery to take place, and still provide time for responsive comments. So the way that we approached that and what we were trying to do was basically to kind of essentially cut a week off of the report. So I think y'all had originally proposed January 4th of 2024. So we thought, well, maybe we could make that about a week earlier. Certainly understand the Christmas and New Year's timelines and that type of thing. And but thought maybe if we could push it that a week forward, and then the dates after that are basically what you have seen in the other dockets where we've had this issue, the avoided cost dockets, it seems like there's one other docket that's escaping me at the time, but in any event, about, a week and a half or so for the parties to review the report and then get any discovery they may have to PA Consulting. You would have the 20-day time for PA Consulting to respond. We would have responsive comments fairly quickly thereafter, which would be the week. And then it would be a week after that that the hearing resumes. So that was kind of the thought behind that. A couple of things that occurred to us as we were putting it together. The discovery responses due from PA Consulting.
Mm-hmm.
It could be that could be shortened from the 20 days to a shorter period.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly don't know, what PA Consulting's position on that would be. I don't want to shortchange them, but
Mm-hmm.
That might alleviate some of the constraint. But that was really kind of the issues we were dealing with, and coming up with a proposed timeline was trying to maintain the testimony dates, understanding the ORS's need and the other parties' needs to review the IRP fully. Then give Santee Cooper the opportunity to review that testimony and provide rebuttal to it, and then maintaining that hearing date. So that was really, there wasn't a whole lot of time in there that we felt like we had to move things around in, but obviously we understand the commission's concerns about needing sufficient time to review the report and those
Mm-hmm.
types of things. I will say, I certainly am not minimizing PA Consulting's report. I mean, obviously it's important. But part of the thinking also was, you would have the testimony of the parties and the hearing in December, so the commission would have heard the bulk of the evidence. So the hearing, when it resumes, would be limited to the PA Consulting report, as I understand it. So, while that certainly is important, we felt like maybe the commission would have had, time to already review and
The remainder, the previous, the transcript, the earlier transcript from December.
Yeah. So that was part of the thinking, I think, too, was that, the resuming of the hearing would really just be for that limited purpose. And, we were kind of hoping that, maybe that would be sufficient for the commission. And then we put in a proposed order date that is, it's about 3 weeks before, it's only a week after the hearing resumes, but I think, the parties would have had the opportunity, hopefully, to begin drafting of the proposed order based on the testimony, and then, that week would allow revisions to reflect anything that came out of that hearing, the second hearing. So, I know I've said a lot, but I think, hopefully you understand kind of what we were trying to work around to propose the schedule.
And I understand the new dates and the thought process. If you don't mind, parties, I want to ask Miss Liuba. I think I'm pronouncing Miss Liuba's name correctly, and then I'll come back to everyone else. Miss Liuba, what are your what are PA Consulting's thoughts about the new report deadline and also the discovery response deadline for PA Consulting? So the report would be due, if the new schedule is adopted, on December 29th. And then the deadline for the parties to provide PA Consulting with discovery requests becomes January 8th, 2024. And the discovery responses will be due from PA Consulting on January 29th. Do you need that long? First and foremost, what about the report? That new deadline, proposed deadline?
Yeah. And
okay,
Jocelyn, if I may, this is Joanne.
Yes, ma'am.
Hill. I was going to just point out that there is no current, right now in the current schedule that we have, there is no current deadline for discovery to PA
Mhm.
consultants
Mhm.
or responses to
Right.
from them.
Yes.
Because right now, the report is January 4th, and then you're having the hearing 20 days later on
Right.
January 24th. I just was going to let
Miss Liuba?
yeah, thank you. I couldn't pronounce that. I apologize. To know that, because what's being asked as part of this is for the commission to now establish a discovery schedule that did not exist previously.
Right.
Thank you. That is really helpful to provide that background. And while internally we had no objections with the proposed schedule, we also talked internally about perhaps expediting the report on our end just to not come head to head with the holiday.
Can we turn Miss Liuba? I need her to get closer to the? Okay, Miss Liuba, would you move a little closer to your computer or the microphone?
Is this better?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Apologies for that. Internally, we discussed that we have no objections with the proposed schedule. However, internally, we would probably shoot to have our internal delivery deadline ahead of December 29th, just so that we're not coming ahead with the Christmas holiday.
Mm-hmm.
So if that is helpful and makes it to adjust the schedule, because also, having that deadline for discovery to PA, giving about a window of 10 days, also around the holiday, knowing folks are typically out that first week as well. Just giving that note, if it makes sense to either bring that up or push it out, we would be open to either direction or keep it as is.
Okay, so the deadline right now, well, under the proposed schedule is December 29th. All right. So were you looking, if you could move that proposed date back, would you be looking at the 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st? Which day? Okay. Well, that's a state holiday. Miss Liuba?
That's it.
The 22nd is a state holiday. My concern is if, you file it here, it won't be posted until December 27th.
I see. You're right. In that case, which brings more clarity, the 29th probably does make the most amount of sense from a filing perspective to be published and available for comment. We just wanted to provide that offer that we could provide the report earlier if necessary, but given that it's coming across several holidays, perhaps that's not the right approach.
Okay, Ms. Hill.
I was just going to add, Ms. Liuba, if you did provide it earlier, would you be able to send a copy electronically to all parties of record so they'll have it even before it may be posted? I'm not saying it wouldn't be posted at the same time, but could you also email everyone a copy as well, a courtesy copy?
Yes, I assume that would be through the service list, the party record list.
What did Ms. Liuba say?
Ms. Liuba, I couldn't hear you.
I'm sorry. I must be having issues with my microphone. Would that just be through the listserv?
Yeah, the email list is on the docket. Yes, ma'am, you could do it. Serve it that way. Here is my point. What the parties in the docket should receive, well, you wouldn't be electronically filing. So she would have to email it through contact at PSC and see. So, because otherwise, if PA Consulting was able to e-file, as soon as they e-filed it, the parties would receive a link to that document. Ms. Liuba, the 22nd, was that a date that you were considering when you said you may be able to move it back, or was that not? Were you thinking more of the 26th to 27th?
I was thinking a week back, yes.
Okay.
Well, I'm probably going to have to get somebody some comp time, but we're going to have to think about that because it's worth looking at. Okay. So let's look at another 12/22, if that's a possibility. Okay, Ms. Liuba, I need you again. Don't leave, please. All right. So if we were to move that back to the 22nd. Okay. So then the next deadline will be the deadline for discovery. And I think Ms. Wilson is telling me that that date could become, or the 2nd of January? Okay, the 2nd of January 2nd, 2024. And then the discovery response is due from PA Consulting would be January 22nd, 2024. And then responsive comments would then be the 29th. Well, see, I think, yeah, that's 1 week from 129 to 25. So 25, 1 week earlier, I think would be 129. Okay, 129. And then we're looking at the hearing resumings, it would be 7 days later. So then that may become February 5th. And then 1 week later is the 12th for proposed orders. Okay, I'm gonna write these dates on the sheet. And then I'll ask the parties. Thank you. Hold that for me. I'm gonna get back to everybody, but I want to write these dates so you can see it on the sheet. Ms. Purvis, I think I'm ready. Okay, I wrote in pencil, everyone, because I may have to change these dates. Can you see that? What do I need to do, Ms. Purvis, if it's not big enough? Let me start. Ms. Liuba, can you see the screen?
It's very small. I was trying to jot down.
Okay.
There's a way to
Okay.
make the screen present bigger.
Okay, great. I'm just gonna move it up or slide it down. Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. All right.
Better. Yes.
Is that better, Ms. Liuba?
That is better. Thank you.
Wonderful. Okay, we'll start with you, and then I'll begin with Mr. Cooper, and we'll go down the line again. What does this look like? The new date for the report from PA Consulting, 12/22/2023, December 22nd. The deadline for discovery to deliver discovery to PA Consulting, January 2nd, 2024. Responses to discovery by PA Consulting would be due January 22nd. Responsive comments from the parties, other parties, will be January 29th. The hearing would resume February 5th. Proposed orders would be due February 12th. So the part that relates to PA Consulting, how do you feel, Ms. Liuba?
I think that revision would work for us if it works for the other parties.
Okay, wonderful. So we're going to start over. Mr. Cooper, I'll begin with you. Can you see the new schedule, proposed schedule?
Yes, and we followed when we wrote it down as well. This works for Santee Cooper. Thank you very much. Appreciate all your efforts.
Thank you. Mr. Burns?
Sorry about that. Had to unmute. The only thing I will mention is that I don't want to be the skunk at the garden party, but this essentially makes all of the interveners spend their Christmas working on the discovery. That you know, the rest of the dates seem fine, but pushing the deadline for discovery to PA Consulting back to January 2nd helps PA Consulting finish their work before Christmas, but the rest of us would then be reading their report and composing our discovery during the Christmas holidays. But I just bring that up for discussion purposes.
Oh, I see. Because you'd be reading from December 22nd through January 2nd.
You know, we've got witnesses. To be realistic, it'll be our experts who will be doing a lot of that work. But I did want to bring that up. I don't know if anybody else shares that concern. I don't want to have to reschedule every week, and I understand the importance of March 10th. So, but I did want to bring that up for the purposes of discussion.
Okay, so I'm going to put my pen beside Mr. Burns' name, and I'm going to go back to Ms. Liuba for a second because PA Consulting will be providing the responses. Ms. Liuba, I have to return to you. That the new schedule that's been written in pencil, there are approximately 20 days from the day PA Consulting receives the discovery request to the deadline to respond. If we were to, are you agreeable at all to moving that day? What is no, we don't want to go that far. The first week of January still. The 5th, yeah. Ms. Liuba, and then I have to go back to Mr. Burns. How comfortable or uncomfortable are you with moving the deadline for discovery to the 5th of January? Or does PA Consulting need 20 days? And if you do, just please say that.
Well, Jocelyn, this is Ben. I think, and I don't want to speak for John, but I think the deadline for discovery would be to get it to PA Consulting on the 5th. That's at least how I understood it.
Yes.
As opposed to the 5th for them to respond.
Yes,
they respond on the 22nd. Yeah.
Yes, right. They would respond. So, but PA Consulting would not receive the request until the 5th, right? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. That's a way to solve the problem I pointed out. I didn't suggest that date, but if that
no, you didn't. But I need to know from Ms. Liuba how comfortable is PA Consulting with now that more constrained time frame for PA Consulting to receive the discovery request and also respond by January 22nd to those requests.
I think that is fair, especially considering that that first week is really tough with holidays anyway. So I think that would solve the problem for everyone.
Okay, hold on a second. That's supposed to be a 5. Okay. So Ms. Liuba is okay with the amended schedule. Thank you, Ms. Liuba. So Mr. Burns, I'm going to return to you. How comfortable are you with the amended
That's fine
schedule?
For me, but I certainly would, other parties may want to weigh in, but that
yeah.
would work for me.
I'm going to call on everyone else. I just need to check your name.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Ellaby?
We have no problem with that schedule, Jocelyn. Thank you.
Mr. Spear?
No problem, but is this an opportunity to address another issue that I'm seeing, or are we just—
No, please, because
okay.
I was going to ask at the end if there was anything else, but I'd love to hear it because it may impact this amended schedule.
Well, thank you. I'm just acknowledging that there's 7 days between a resumed hearing and proposed orders, and the constraints that puts on the court reporter to turn around transcripts.
Yeah. We'll probably retain an outside court reporter. Put your mic, yeah.
Sorry. And remember, it's only from the resumed hearing. You will have all the other, if you requested a transcript, You should have that transcript and can be working on the order. The only difference is going to be the any testimony that may be elicited as a result of the PA consultant's report, and you will also have their report to refer to in preparations of an order.
Is that
I don't
all?
know if that makes a difference, but
It certainly does make a difference, but I anticipated that, and I think the comment from Century's perspective probably still stands that 7 days is not a lot there.
oh no, it's not, and we recognize that. But and also remember the proceedings will also be live streamed, so you'll have the video tape to go back to if need be, as well.
With that said, Century agrees.
Okay. Ms. Shea?
Yeah, Google agrees.
Did I pronounce your name correctly? I wrote it down.
Yes.
Wonderful. Mr. Lavanga?
Yeah, we're fine with this revised schedule. Thank you.
Ms. Jaffe?
Sierra Club's in agreement with the revised schedule also.
Ms. Mixon?
We're fine with the schedule also.
Mr. Mustian?
Yes, I think that works for ORS.
And I've already spoken to Ms. Liuba. Ms. Liuba, you're still comfortable?
Yes, we're still comfortable. Thank you.
Okay. Did I miss anyone? Calling any parties' names? All right. So I'm going to call the list one more time unless our general counsel has anything else you need to add.
No, ma'am. And I was just going to say thank you to the parties for your consideration.
Yes. Attorney Clausen?
No, I think that's fine. And I would echo Ms. Hill's comments. Thank you for your input and cooperation.
Wonderful. Mr. Cooper, as we leave, do you have any parting words?
This is Ms. Brazil. No, we do not. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brazil. What about you, Mr. Burns?
All good for CC, but thank you very much for your help.
Thank you. Mr. Ellaby, do you have any concerns as we leave?
I do not.
Wonderful. You're welcome. Mr. Spear?
Thank you, Jocelyn. Nothing further. I appreciate you permitting us to appear virtually. Bye-bye.
Yes, thank you. Ms. Shea?
All good here.
Wonderful. Mr. Lavanga?
Nothing further from Newcourt, Jocelyn. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Ms. Jaffe?
Nothing further. Thank you so much.
Ms. Mixon?
Nothing else from us. Thanks, Jocelyn.
Wonderful. And Mr. Mustian?
Nothing further. Thanks to everybody for working with us.
Ms. Liuba?
Nothing further. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. So we'll publish this revised schedule in a hearing officer directive and post it in the docket and serve you. All right. I hope you have a wonderful and safe evening. We'll see you next time.